It was a heartbreaking night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, one that no one in the studio, nor the millions watching at home, will ever forget. As the familiar theme music faded, Jimmy Kimmel walked onto the stage, his eyes red, his voice trembling, and for a moment, the man known for laughter stood in silence. When he finally spoke, his words carried a weight that instantly quieted the audience. "We've been on the air for almost 23 years, Kimmel began, pausing as tears welled up. "And I've had to do some hard monologues along the way, but this one's the hardest, because last night we lost someone very special. That someone was Cleto Escobedo III, Kimmel's lifelong friend, musical partner, and the beloved bandleader of Jimmy Kimmel Live's house band, Cleto and the Cletones. At just 59 years old, Escobedo's passing came as a shock to everyone who knew him, leaving behind not only a grieving family, but an entire late-night family that had grown up with his music for more than 2 decades. The moment Kimmel uttered his friend's name, the audience broke into soft applause, a gesture of sympathy and respect. And Jimmy, wiping his tears, simply said, "Everyone loved Cleto. Everyone here at the show. We are devastated. It's just not fair." Kimmel went on to share memories that stretched back far before television fame. To their childhood days growing up in Las Vegas, the two met when Kimmel was just 9 years old, and from that moment, their friendship became inseparable. Over the years, they'd shared countless moments, from practicing music in Cleto's garage to chasing wild dreams that neither believed would actually come true. "Cleto was more than a friend," Kimmel said softly. "He was my brother." That bond eventually led to one of the most iconic partnerships in late-night television history. When Jimmy Kimmel Live premiered in 2003, there was no question who Kimmel wanted leading the band. "I called him and said, 'Hey man, I think I'm going to have this show. Do you want to be my band leader?'" Kimmel recalled once in an interview. And of course, he said yes. For Escobedo, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. But more importantly, it was a chance to work every day alongside the person who had known him best. Their chemistry was effortless. Whether it was trading jokes between commercial breaks or sharing subtle smiles during musical performances, their connection was something audiences could feel. A friendship that played like a rhythm, steady and genuine. Cleto Escobedo wasn't just a television musician. Before joining Kimmel's show, he had already built a remarkable career, performing with some of the biggest names in music, from Earth, Wind and Fire to Paula Abdul. He had his own record deal, and his talent was undeniable. Yet, despite his success, those who knew him say he was humble, grounded, and deeply loyal to his roots. His love for music began with his father, Cleto Escobedo Sr., who played the tenor and alto saxophone. It was his father's passion that inspired young Cleto to pick up the sax, a choice that would define his life. "I play sax because he played sax when I was a kid," Escobedo once said. "My dad sacrificed a lot for me. He gave up touring just to be home with me." That same father, Cleto Sr., has been part of the Jimmy Kimmel Live band from the beginning, a rare, heart-warming dynamic that gave the show's music its soul. On the night of the tribute, Cleto Sr. performed again, holding his saxophone under the stage lights, surrounded by musicians who had played beside his son for years. In the audience sat Escobedo's mother, her face heavy with both pride and loss. It was a moment of pure humanity, where grief, love, and despair and legacy blended into one. Earlier that day, Kimmel had announced Cleto's death on Instagram, calling him a great friend, father, son, musician, and man. His post was filled with raw emotion, reflecting the depth of their shared history. "Cleto and I have been inseparable since I was 9 years old," he wrote. "The fact that we got to work together every day is a dream neither of us could have imagined. The comments section flooded with messages of support from fellow celebrities, musicians, and fans around the world. Kimmel ended his post with a plea: cherish your friends, and please keep Cleto's wife, children, and parents in your prayers. That sense of perspective, that life's most valuable treasures are found in friendship and love, echoed throughout the night's broadcast. Jimmy also announced that the show would take the next 2 nights off in honor of Cleto. "We're going to take a couple of nights off," he said quietly, "but Cleto wouldn't want us to miss this one." That night's episode continued as planned, featuring guest Eddie Murphy, a move that Kimmel later said was exactly what Cleto would have wanted. Even through his tears, Jimmy found a way to smile. "He would have told me to stop crying," he said. That was Cleto, always the one who made everything lighter, even when life felt heavy. In the days following Cleto's passing, tributes poured in from every corner of the entertainment world. Fellow musicians, comedians, and longtime fans of Jimmy Kimmel Live shared clips of Cleto's performances, his wide smile, his effortless charm, and the way he could make even a short musical cue feel like a full concert. But beyond the spotlight, Cleto was known for his kindness. Crew members described him as the heart of the show, the first to arrive, the last to leave, and always the one making others laugh. He didn't just play music, one producer shared, he filled the studio with warmth. His passing reminded many how deeply connected the Jimmy Kimmel Live team had become after more than 2 decades together. This wasn't just a workplace, it was a family, and Cleto was its rhythm. Throughout the tribute, Kimmel reflected on how their friendship shaped not only his show, but his life. "When you grow up with someone," he said, "you share every version of yourself with them. That lifelong bond made every moment on stage together more meaningful." They weren't just host and band leader. They were 2 friends living out a dream they had once whispered about as kids. Kimmel's voice cracked as he spoke of Cleto's humor, recalling how he could lighten the mood even in chaos. No matter what was going wrong, Kimmel smiled faintly. Cleto would turn it into a joke. He had that gift. The audience, many wiping tears, responded with gentle applause, honoring both men. One who spoke, and one whose silence that night spoke even louder. While grief filled the studio, there was also gratitude. Kimmel emphasized how lucky he felt to have shared such a rare friendship, one that defied fame, success, and time. "You don't often get to live your dream with the person who helped you dream it," he said. The story of Jimmy and Cleto reminded viewers that behind every talk show, beyond every punchline, are people with decades of memories holding them together. As Kimmel looked across the stage, the empty spot where Cleto once stood became a powerful symbol, a quiet reminder of how loss can echo even in laughter. The band played a slow, soulful tune, one of Cleto's favorites, while images of his life and performances filled the screen. As the show came to a close, Kimmel took a deep breath and looked straight into the camera. "We'll miss you, buddy," he said, voice breaking once more. "Thank you for everything." There was no comedic sign-off, no witty remark, just silence and soft applause. For a few moments, the late-night stage became something else entirely, a place of mourning, love, and remembrance. Jimmy Kimmel's tribute wasn't just about saying goodbye to his friend. It was about reminding everyone watching to hold their loved ones closer, to say the things that matter while there's still time. In a world built on laughter, it was a night defined by tears, a human, heartbreaking reminder that even those who make us smile the most sometimes carry the deepest pain of goodbye.